Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into one of the absolute classic, most fascinating mysteries of the early internet. Back in the year 2000, this guy randomly appeared on a message board with a story that was just totally unbelievable. So we're going to break down exactly what he claimed and why, all these years later, people still can't stop talking about it. So, picture this. It's the year 2000. You're logging on to an old-school internet forum, dial-up tone and all, and you see this post, just sitting there. I'm a time traveler from the year 2036. No context, just boom, right out of the gate. Now, obviously, everybody's first reaction is to just laugh it off, right? Just another internet troll. But here's where it gets weird. He didn't break character. He actually started firing back with these insanely detailed technical answers to anyone questioning him. He casually predicted future events, explained the literal nuts and bolts of his journey, and then, just as suddenly as he showed up, he vanished, leaving behind a trail of breadcrumbs that his investigators completely baffled even 2 decades later. Chapter 1. The Man from 2036. Let's look at exactly who this person, going by the name John Titor, claimed to be. Starting in November of 2000, John tells the forum he's an American soldier. But, not your standard infantryman. He claims he's been sent on this desperate, high-stakes mission, back through time to grab a specific item that his future timeline literally needs to survive. And his travel itinerary? Totally bizarre. Check this out. He starts in 2036, makes this massive jump all the way back to 1975 to snag his target, an IBM 5100 computer. And then he takes a little pit stop in the year 2000, which is when he's chatting on the internet, before his planned trip back home. Moving on to Chapter 2, the IBM 51 secret. This right here is the smoking gun of the entire legend, his 1975 target. Now, this is where it gets super interesting. To the general public, this obscure 1970s machine was just a bulky, outdated piece of junk, right? Like, why on earth would the advanced future need that? But Titor insisted it possessed this hidden, completely undocumented ability to debug legacy mainframe systems, an ability that, according to him, was going to be absolutely critical decades down the line. And here is the mind-blowing twist. Years later, actual former IBM engineers came out and confirmed it. The IBM 5100 did actually have this highly guarded, secret capability, almost exactly like Titor described, which immediately makes you think, wait a second. How could some random forum poster in 2000 possibly know a closely guarded corporate secret from 1975? Chapter 3. The Physics of Time Travel. So if he wasn't just taking lucky guesses about vintage computers, how exactly did he claim to traverse the space-time continuum? Let's check out the mechanics. Because he wasn't just spinning fairy tales here. He posted highly detailed schematics, he claimed the machine ran on miniature black holes, and, I absolutely love this detail, he said the actual temporal displacement unit was strapped into the back of a modified Chevy Corvette. Sounds like something straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster, doesn't it? Now, actual physicists, yeah, they completely tore his math apart. But the sheer level of detail in his diagrams, the blueprints were so incredibly complex, it really set him miles apart from your average internet prankster. Even if the physics were totally bogus, the sheer effort and complexity were enough to make people stop and really pay attention. Chapter 4. A Divergent Future. But hey, a time traveler is really only as good as their prophecies, right? So let's see what he told us was coming down the pipeline. He didn't pull any punches. He laid out these incredibly stark predictions. We're talking a second American Civil War kicking off around 2004, the country fracturing into different regions, and all of it eventually culminating in a massive global nuclear war. And obviously, you and I are sitting here today knowing none of that actually happened in our reality. But, and there's always a but with these things, right? We have to look at his built-in defense mechanism. He explicitly stated that the very act of traveling back in time creates a divergent timeline. Essentially, just by showing up in the year 2000 and talking to us, he altered the trajectory of our universe, meaning our future wouldn't necessarily match the history he lived through. Pretty clever. Chapter 5. The Unsolved Mystery. So, was that just a super convenient excuse or actual quantum mechanics? We'll probably never know. Which brings us to his sudden exit. In March of 2001, John Titor dropped one final post. He basically just thanked the forum, said his goodbyes, and vanished. Literally, poof. No follow-ups, no big exit interviews, nothing. He completely logged off and disappeared into the ether without ever actually confirming who he was. So what's the deal? For over 2 decades, internet sleuths have proposed countless theories. Was it just some brilliant writer practicing world building? An elaborate internet marketing stunt? A lot of people strongly suspect it was a highly coordinated hoax by a specific lawyer and his family. Or, was it just someone who genuinely believed their own delusions? The crazy part is, absolutely nothing has ever been definitively proven. And that IBM 5100 detail? Yeah, that still gives people the chills today. And that leaves us with one final, kind of wild thought to ponder. The legend of John Titor sticks around not because he proved time travel is real, but because he left us with just enough unanswered questions. Think about it. If a legit time traveler popped onto a forum today, would we even listen? Or would we just dismiss them exactly like we did back in the year 2000? Definitely something to chew on. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and remember to always keep your eyes open for the unexplained.